A common accident had happened to this woman. Her bag of vegetables fell while she was walking home. A stranger appears and realizing that the woman had also dropped $250, she pretends she dropped the paper and leaves with the money in hand. In fact, the money under the greenery is a social test that this woman usually does on the streets of the city where she lives. This time, this other woman doesn't even try to hide it. She takes the money and celebrates the find, and complains when she gets a disapproving look from the other woman, arrogantly asking if she's a fan of hers, as she is a very famous businesswoman. So, not ashamed to take someone else's money, she leaves. A few minutes later, she plays the test, but finally an honest person appears and asks if that money belongs to the woman. She feigns surprise and thanks her for the kindness. Genuinely honest, the woman warns of the danger of dropping the money on the street, and decides to help her pick up the vegetables that have fallen. But since it's all a social test, she just thanks her once again for the kindness and replies that she doesn't need help, so the two say goodbye after this beautiful interaction. A little later, that same woman is in an office talking to her secretary. Today there will be a job interview, and the competitors have just arrived. Those three women, the two dishonest and the honest, will compete for the vacancy to be a manager in the company. In addition to being dishonest, the two women are rude, and together they begin to insinuate that the woman in black, the only one to have had a correct attitude in the social test, is smelling bad. She tries to justify herself by saying that she lives far away and doesn't have a car, but she is offended once again, and the two, in a cruel gesture, distance themselves from her. Then the two, almost as if they took pleasure in humiliating that woman, start criticizing her resume, saying that she is looking for the wrong job, because that is a renowned company, and they are not looking for a cleaning lady. The two continue to humiliate the poor woman, saying that her resume, in fact, is not even good enough to be a cleaning lady, and that in fact she should be on the street begging, because that would be the only way for her to get money. She is intimidated by both of them and doesn't answer anything. She decides to just keep quiet while the two say mean things. The cruel woman also mocks the woman for not bringing a briefcase, but she replies that she didn't have the money for it, information that makes her once again humiliated by her economic condition. Both are elitist women and say that a poor woman has only two options: stay at home washing dishes or be the cleaning lady for someone who really has money. With the curriculum in hand again, she finally responds and says that she has already taken many courses, but the two women respond ironically, not caring about the feelings of that person they don't even know. A short time later, all three are called to talk to the owner of the company. The two women try to put themselves in front of the humble but honest competitor. However, despite the humiliating situation, she remains in the room, confident that she will be chosen. So the businesswoman asks one of the mean women why she thinks she is a qualified person to work for the company, and asks her mainly to highlight what are her greatest virtues as a human being. She responds that she is a punctual, qualified person, with different degrees and courses, multilingual, and, most importantly, kind to clients or whoever. Then, confident or perhaps arrogant, she says that she already has all the necessary documentation for the contract to be signed. Not impressed and knowing who she really is, the boss asks the other dishonest woman the same question. She also claims to be very capable and ready for work, but the other shows all her dishonesty and makes fun of her friend. Then, hiding behind the two, the honest woman tries to introduce herself, but is interrupted by the two. The boss doesn't agree with this and scolds the two's behavior, saying that they act as if they were in their own house. So the businesswoman decides to reveal the whole truth and starts to tell that she was the one who was on the sidewalk a few hours ago, pretending to have dropped the vegetables from the bag. She says it was part of a social test and remembers that the two of them took the money that was under the cucumber. The ruder of the two tries to defend herself, saying that she can explain, but lies, insinuating that she would have no way of knowing that money was hers. But the boss doesn't believe this obviously false justification, yet she insists that this is the truth. Already out of patience, the owner of the company points to the other woman and asks what she did with the money that was under the cucumber. Without any shame, the woman replies that if she didn't take it, surely someone else would do the same. Then the boss asks if she doesn't feel guilty about taking someone else's money. At that moment she shows all her arrogance and replies that she doesn't need that money and also the salary, so she decides to leave. But the other woman manages to overcome her friend's lack of shame. She takes the $250 from her purse and says she regrets taking money that wasn't hers. But since dishonesty is part of who she really is, she suggests that since she is sorry and returned the money, the boss might reconsider and give her the job. After all, she is the person most prepared to perform the job of manager. However, the boss does not fall into this cheap trap and replies that this is a serious company, which values honesty, a value that the businesswoman considers non-negotiable. But also something the woman has shown not to have since the first time they met. She asks for one more chance, but the boss just replies that she has to leave immediately. The humble woman asks if she should also leave, but the businesswoman calls her to the table. The boss remembers that she was the only person who noticed the money that was under the cucumber and still decided not to take it. She renewed the businesswoman's hopes in people's honesty, as it has been increasingly difficult to find someone who decides to be honest. Soon after that, she also warned a boy that his wallet had fallen on the floor, proving that she is indeed a person of integrity and honesty. So the businesswoman says that it is people like this that the company is looking for, people with character, honesty, and who treat everyone, no matter who, with kindness. Therefore, as of today, she will be the company's new manager. Sometimes attitudes are worth more than anything.